Today I want to share with you everything that happened in the month of July, as well as my plans for the month of August, how my goals went for July, and setting new ones for next month. If you haven't been here for one of my monthly resets before, I'm Sophie from Sophisticated Organization, and this is just a check-in process I like to do with myself, but also kind of fun to share it with you here, where I talk about all of the goals that I'm planning and reset and check in with myself as to how I'm doing with those goals. And to give that a little bit more context, we should talk about what happened in the month of July. We traveled twice to Minnesota, where I'm from. We went on 2 different road trips. We're actually on our last road trip right now as this video is going live at the very last few days here of July. And we had 2 different weddings. So that was kind of a lot to be gone for 2 weekends and to do 2 back-to-back road trips in 1 month. Felt a little overwhelming, but we really enjoyed spending some extra time with my family. And the weddings were for my high school friends, so really good to get together with so many of my friends from high school twice in 1 month. I also had a friend from college come stay with us for 1 night. Really unexpected. She was just driving through, as lots of people do. They drive through Nebraska. And so she stayed with us for 1 night, which was exciting for me to see her because I don't get to see her that often. But other than that, travel-wise, it was a standard month. That does seem like a lot, that there were 3 weekends that were impacted by either somebody coming to visit us or us going elsewhere out of the whole month. The other thing that I should mention here at the outset, if you haven't been keeping up with my other videos or if you're new, I just announced that I am pregnant. So that's very exciting, and now I can share a little bit more details about what's going on in my life, because the past few months, I have just not been quite as motivated as I usually am, or maybe that's not the right way to put it. I've been as motivated, it's just difficult to follow through because I think there's a bit of a difference there. You can have the motivation, which I think I have because I'm always setting these goals and wanting to do things. I just don't have the energy to necessarily follow through with them. So I am now in my 2nd trimester of pregnancy and things are getting a little bit better, but still feeling my focus being pulled in different directions more so than usual, as well as my physical limitations starting to hit me a little bit more than they usually do. So I think that's the reason that the past few videos and the past few months that I've been sharing, I haven't been meeting all of my goals quite as much as I always do. So I want to take that into account this time as we're talking about how the goals went over the past month, as well as talking about setting goals for the month of August. And in terms of a quick overview for what I have going on in August, I'm looking down because I always keep my planner here so I can tell you everything that happened in the previous month and everything that we have scheduled for the next month. Not a whole ton of stuff going on in terms of travel. We have another wedding, but it's local, luckily. I am going for a work trip to Charleston, which should be really fun. We got to pick the location that we're going to travel as a team. My company's based out of New York, but we have people all over. So we had a bunch of fun cities to select from. So we're going to Charleston and I'm excited about that. I've been there once before, but I was in college, so it's been a while, and I'm just looking forward to meeting the people that I work with in person finally. So I did announce to work also that I'm pregnant, since I'm going to be traveling there in just a bit and going to be seeing people in person. It's now quite obvious that I'm pregnant, so wanted to let them know in advance of that so it wasn't like a huge surprise when I showed up. But it sounds like it is going to be a little bit of actual work, but for the most part, they have fun activities planned for us and dinners and events. So I'm really looking forward to this work trip. Like I said, that's basically it for the month of August. Standard month other than that. So let's talk about the goals that I had for the month of July and how July went in general. The first goal I had was to work out 5 days a week, and was really good about it the past few months, which is crazy because I was in my 1st trimester of pregnancy and I was still consistently working out, which I'm really proud of myself for doing. But also I think this time around I'm just feeling better in exercise than I was when I was pregnant the first time. The big thing that happened this month was I was being very consistent. Even through travel, I made sure that I was still getting a workout in when I was at my parents' house, and it was kind of nice to have some other adults there to watch Owen so I could get in a little bit of a workout. But I did something at the gym a couple weeks ago or a week ago where I was doing like shoulder exercises, kind of like lifting my shoulders. And I'm telling you, I was using 3-pound weights. So essentially like wasn't even using weight. And I clearly did something just terrible to my right shoulder. And so I couldn't move it at all. I couldn't like open things with it. And I just babied it. I took a break. I went to the chiropractor and tried to have that help it. But over like a week and a half, it started getting better. I'm still feeling like a tiny bit of pain, but for the most part, it is all healed up and I'm back to exercising. But I took a significant break. So there was a week there that I most definitely did not get in my 5 days a week. So without that bit of an injury, I was still doing really well. And overall, I would count that goal as a win, especially because I like to adjust my goals. And I don't think goals should be so hard set in stone that, well, I set myself a goal for working out 5 days a week. And even though I'm injured, I'm still going to do it. You have to know your limits. And that doesn't just pertain to exercise. There are so many other things that can happen in life. And I like to, in general, have goals that have a little bit of flexibility that allow for life to happen. But sometimes there are things that happen in our lives, like an injury or anything else unexpected that has a broader impact. And you just have to put your goals aside and focus on yourself or focus on your family or your job or whatever it is that's impacting things. Pause that goal. Know it'll be there when you're ready for it. The other goal that I had was to get back to social media. I have been a lot more active on my Instagram stories and have been sharing a little bit more. I was really excited because I started sharing more videos on sophisticated motherhood and have filmed a few more videos. So I'm going to get back to a regular cadence of posting videos on my other YouTube channel about motherhood and have a ton of content ideas coming up there, as well as some like organizational videos here on Sophisticated Organization. And I'm feeling a little bit re-inspired. So that even though I haven't posted everything, I've been a lot more active and just feeling that spark again, which is really exciting because I love doing this and sharing all of these organizing and productivity tips with you. The third goal I had was our weekly family check-in. This has been on my goal list for a few months now and hasn't really worked out for us. The thought behind it was so that Jim and I could come together on a weekly basis, talk about our plans, what events we have going on, what activities, maybe like if there's things going on at Owen's school that we need to pack something special for, as well as going through our joint family to-do list. What things can we get done around the house, like hanging pictures or other projects that we need to do. We have a nursery we're gonna need to get ready. So now there's like baby prep items on there. And we just haven't had like a formal check-in as I was planning and what I was envisioning when I put it on my to-do list. But this past month, I don't know what it was, but we've sparked a bit of a fire where we on the weekends and throughout the weekdays have really been getting stuff done. We've been working together to be like, okay, today, what is one thing that we can check off of the to-do list around the house, all of these millions of things that we constantly feel like are piling up to get done. And let's go run an errand. Let's go purchase this. Let's go return that. Let's just like get something done. And we've made a lot of progress. So I'm excited about that and still would like to formalize it like a little bit more. Not that it needs to be formal because it's just Jim and I, but I want to make sure we keep that momentum going. And I don't want to always have goals as just myself because we are a family and want our family to have some goals and to work through things together. The last goal I had was to attend more community events and get out of the house a little bit more. We did do a few things in the month of July. The pool that we go to had like a pancake brunch. So we went to the pancake brunch. My friend was in town that weekend and I invited her to come with us to the pancake brunch at the pool. Owen loved it, and he got to swim, and they opened it up before regular pool hours, so it wasn't as busy, which was really nice for us to do. And I know that I wrote down community events, but the idea was just like get out and do more things. I also went and got my nails done with one of Jim's friends' wives. She invited me, which was really nice of her, and we got a pedicure together. It had been almost 2 years since I had gotten my nails done, and I love to get my nails done. It's not like I don't enjoy it or anything. And I've talked about this before, but sometimes I feel like I don't prioritize myself and don't do things for me. And that has been on my goal list before. So the community events was meant to be a little bit broader of just kind of getting out there. But one of the things that I ended up doing was a self-care item as well, which I think is kind of like bonus points. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't thought through all of these completely, so I want to spitball a little bit and come up with some concrete ideas with you. Going in order off of the list that I had for July, just to build off of it. My workouts, I'm going to keep that as one of my goals. It is keeping me feeling good. And again, if you're planning a movement goal or an exercise goal, you can count things like going for a walk. I like to do anything that's like more than 30 minutes. I count as exercise. So if I go for a long walk in the evening with Jim and it's just kind of a leisurely stroll, I'm going to count that as I worked out that day. For the most part, I do try and like go down to my gym downstairs or go to the actual gym, and those are my workout days, but I let myself count going for a walk as a workout as well. And I think 5 days is still attainable because again, for the most part, it seems like I could hit it without that injury. I think with the social media goal, I'm ready to get more concrete with what I want that goal to look like. Last month was just kind of get back to it. This next month, I'm going to continue being consistent with my sophisticated organization videos. Those I always post every Wednesday and Saturday. If you didn't know that already, I am trying to get back into posting sophisticated motherhood videos every Monday. So that's 3 videos a week. It's honestly a lot, but I, again, with my planner here, have been planning out like months in advance, honestly, through the end of the year, all of the video ideas I have for both channels, and I have so many coming up. If you have a specific request, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos where if people leave comments where they're asking something specific about how I plan something or organizing a certain area of the house, I am more than happy to create videos around specifically what you're looking for. So always feel free to leave a comment if you have an idea. And I am going to focus on scheduling in the video ideas through the end of the year because my baby is due near the end of the year. So I am using that as a timeline to just get a lot of planning done before there's a second kid here and get as much done as I can in terms of planning. For Instagram, I want to get a regular cadence, and this seems so minimal, but I want to post at least once a week on both of my sophisticated organization and sophisticated motherhood Instagrams. Anything above and beyond that for like an actual post or a reel, I think is gravy, and continuing to be active on my Instagram stories. But I'm doing once a week because I actually think it's attainable and it's going to push me a little bit more. In the past, I've had goals that were posting far more than that and I just couldn't keep up with it. But once a week seems good, and hopefully there's more after that. The next goal I had was the weekly family check-in. I don't know what to do about this. I think Jim and I should maybe sit together, and again, I'm spitballing here a little bit, and come up with our larger to-do list at the outset and not necessarily have like a specific time or day of the week where we get together and chat through everything, because that hasn't worked for us yet. But have this list, and then we know when we have free time or when we have a night when we're not doing anything, or an afternoon when we're not doing anything on the weekend, and we can go to that list and pick something to do together. I want to create that general list for our house specifically, And then with a baby coming, I think we should also probably come up with a to-do list of things we want to get done before the baby. So using the end of the year as kind of a timeline, even though it's possible he'll be there before then or after then, who knows? It'll just be nice to have that baby to-do list, the house to-do list, and then anything else that we might have going on. The baby to-do list might be a little bit more heavy on items just for me, not just Jim and I or the family list, because there's things that I personally need to do to prepare, but I will include that as part of the list as well. The last goal that I had for the month of July was community events. I'm going to keep that there for the month of August. I've already dug in and started looking at different events going on, and there is a backyard concert series that is at one of our community centers that they have every, I think, Sunday night maybe, in the month of August. So I want to try and go to as many of those as I can. I think Owen would love it if we did like a little evening picnic. They had food trucks there. And then I am going to try and find a few more things for us to do maybe. But having those once a week on Sunday nights, we're not usually doing anything. So that should be a great built-in thing for us to do and to get out of the house, listen to some music, hang out outside if it's not too hot or raining or whatever, and enjoy that. I will also put a little like bullet point under there of doing things for myself. I'm just going to try and find a few more ways that I can do things for me, giving myself some time, stepping away from the house for a little bit because I work from home. I feel like I'm a little trapped here sometimes, just during the day working, and then at night I'm also here and don't leave at all some days. So getting out of the house a little bit more, but also doing some things just for me. I'm sitting here editing, and there's one goal that I forgot to mention, and I thought about it a few weeks ago, and it would be a perfect one for the month of August. And I want to try and do like a pantry clean out / grocery challenge. I've done things like this in the past, usually do it in the fall, but after doing some decluttering, I did a few videos decluttering a lot of my house. I did in my pantry in the most recent video and realized I have a lot of food that I just want to work through. So I'm gonna try and use up as much food as I have in my fridge, freezer, and pantry and meal plan around those items. So a lot of times I'll buy, let's say, lentils for a recipe, and then I'll have the rest of the bag of lentils that I don't have any plans for, don't regularly cook with something like lentils, and it just sits there. So I am going to try and move through those items as well as move through other things that I typically do cook with, just to try and have some turnover in my pantry. And there's a couple of benefits of that, the turnover of the pantry and making sure foods don't get expired, as well as using up the things that I buy. I hate having a half-used product that I end up throwing away in the garbage. And hopefully I'll end up saving a little bit on my grocery bill over the next month. I am going to try this just for the month of August. I'm going to check in at my next goal setting video, and we will come up with a plan if I want to do it for 2 months. I don't anticipate 3, so it's probably going to be a 2-month thing, I would guess, but again, we'll check in after 1 month. I'm going to keep track of my grocery spending, try and use up some of the frozen meats that we have, which will save a lot of money, as well as all of those other products. But I don't think my primary goal is doing a low spend grocery month. My primary goal is finding recipes and coming up with meals that uses up what we have in the fridge, the freezer, and the pantry. So I'm excited to share that with you next time. Back to where we were in the video. I think that's it for my goals for the month of August. I also want to share with you what I always do every month, which is the products that I use up. We are in my laundry room because I wanted to go over products that I was able to use up over the month, therefore declutter. If you haven't seen one of my monthly recaps, I always share my home products as well as beauty products. So we're going to start with home products in the laundry room right now, where I'm doing a lot of laundry and have collected some cleaning products. I used up, even though it's not like winter time, I used up some of this Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day Iowa Pine dish soap and hand soap. I wanted to use this up because I felt like it was more of a neutral scent, and I had purchased so many of the holiday soaps and dish soaps and things like that, and I ran out of dish soap. I also needed a new hand soap, but I didn't want to go out and buy more, so I chose to use up what I had on hand. That's what this whole decluttering process is about, and trying to reduce my collection. So used up both of these. I also used an orange essential oil. I use these a lot on dryer balls, but I've also been pushing myself to use my essential oil diffusers. I have 2 throughout the house and use those just a little bit more. A big collection to go through. I also used up a Jaws refill of the kitchen cleaner. This has a orange cinnamon scent to it. I really enjoy it. And just keep this in a spray bottle, one of my reusable spray bottles that I saw on my website. I leave that in my kitchen and finished one of these, dwindling that collection as well. And then I have a couple of things from the brand Hum Dry. These were sent to me a while back, and just using them up for the sake of using them up. Especially this one is a moisture absorber. I hung this in our guest room closet because it doesn't get a lot of airflow and traction in there. So the little bag here just like fills up with water, and once it's filled up with water, you can throw it away and it's done. It's like a dehumidifier and air freshener together. And then this came from a smaller air freshener that they have, again, moisture absorber and air freshener. Stuck this at the bottom of Owen's diaper pail, and I've used a few of their other products in his diaper pail before. This one, I don't know if it's the cotton fresh scent or this specific one that they have, but it has worked so incredibly well. It's like the only thing that has made his diaper pail not smell terrible. So those are all of the things I was able to use up in terms of home products. Let's head to the bathroom and see beauty and cosmetics. Last but not least, we have the items I was able to declutter out of my bathroom by using them up. I have a full Ziploc bag, which is always fun and exciting. This time it's full because, as you can see, there are some really large items, which we'll start with first. I buy a lot of my products in general, home products, personal beauty products, in bulk when possible. So I have these items from Costco. This is the Method body wash. It came in a 2-pack with 2 different scents. This one was a little bit more of a masculine scent, so it wasn't as much of my favorite as the other scent, so I used this one up first. It is coconut rice milk shea butter. I wonder if it says the scent. Maybe that is the scent. I don't know. Still enjoyed it. Used up the whole big thing. And then I also got this shampoo from Costco. It is Monday. They sell this at Target and stuff in smaller sizes, but nice to get a big bulk size. And I just used up the conditioner. I haven't used up the shampoo before. If you're like me, I always finish shampoo bottles before I do conditioner bottles. So every now and then I have to add like 1 extra conditioner bottle to balance things out a bit, but nice to get rid of those really big items. And then in terms of smaller things, I used up a couple like sample size things. I used up a small hair mask that I got from the Nordstrom sale. It is Virtue. I think it's a very expensive brand and would not recommend this. It like did nothing, and I've used a lot of hair masks that are far cheaper than that one, so I would not recommend it. I got from my sister-in-law this Glow Organics bath soak. It is frankincense, lavender, bergamot, and it was a part of one of the bump boxes, if you've ever seen those advertised before. Also, I used up a travel size of this Tula face wash. Never used the Tula face wash before, I just started using up their other products. I have a big size of this as well. It came in like a set, and luckily love this. I'd seen so many influencers talk about Tula and just never really wanted to get into it. I think because of that reason, because I thought it was this like influencer trend and it was just all about advertising, but I genuinely enjoyed this face wash and like that their products are cleaner and all pregnancy safe. Then I used up my last pack of Hydro Boost cleansing towelettes. I have a lot of face wash to use up, so I'm going to try and not repurchase any face wipes and just focus on using up a lot of my face wash. And then I finished a bottle of Top Coat from Ella Mila, which is a little bit more of an expensive brand, but I really do enjoy it. And I was like even pouring out the last little bit onto the brush to get it onto my nails. So I tried to use every last drop of that. That is it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining me for another monthly recap. I would love to hear about your goals and can't wait to check in with you next month. But until next time, I will see you all later.